Welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm your host, Speaker, and today we are embarking on a very important exploration.
We are, yes.
We are looking at your source material, which is focused entirely on money, essential vocabulary and how finance really works in everyday life. And we are doing this deep dive specifically for you, focusing on clean, simple English. We want you to feel confident navigating this world. This is the English Podcast.
Absolutely.
So let us start with a question for you to consider. What is the most important financial word you use every day, and, well, why is it so important?
Hello, I am Brian, and I am here today as an academic and scholar with deep social knowledge on this topic.
It is great to have you.
Our mission today is, very clear. We are going to unpack the language that helps us all navigate real-life situations.
Things like work, shopping.
Exactly. And saving, all while helping you improve your English fluency. We will speak slowly and clearly, and we will make sure we connect these simple definitions to the bigger picture.
Perfect. Yeah. Let us start at the very, very beginning then, using the fundamental definitions in our sources. What exactly is money?
It seems like a simple question.
It does, but it is a good place to start. Money is simply something that people use every day to buy things.
Things like food, clothes, toys.
Right. But you also use it to pay for services, like a taxi ride or getting a haircut.
And it is important to remember that money, it is not an ancient idea. Our sources tell us that a very long time ago, people did not use currency at all.
So what did they do?
They traded items directly, maybe exchanging a basket of eggs for a loaf of bread.
That sounds complicated.
It was very slow and complicated. The introduction of money made buying and selling much, much easier. It acts as a universal medium of exchange.
And while we often think of money as, coins and paper bills, today the concept is much broader.
It really is.
Many people use digital forms, paying with plastic cards or even their phones. But no matter what form it takes, money helps us get the things we need and the things we want.
Which leads us very naturally to how we get it, the structure of earning.
Yes.
The most common way people get money is, of course, by working. They have jobs, and in return for their time and their effort, they receive an income.
And this income comes in two important forms. I think we should define these very clearly for you.
I should.
The first is a salary, and the second is wages. What is the difference?
A great question. When someone receives a salary, it is usually a fixed amount of money paid regularly, perhaps every month or every 2 weeks.
So for professional jobs like a teacher or a manager...
Precisely. The amount is usually the same no matter how many hours they happen to work that week.
And then there are wages.
Wages. Now, wages, on the other hand, are typically calculated by the hour.
I see.
This is very common for service jobs or manual labor, working in a cafe or as a cleaner, for example.
So if you work more hours...
you receive more money, and if you work fewer hours, you receive less. It is a very direct relationship.
That is a very useful distinction. Now, moving beyond the traditional employee, some people do not work for a company. They are known as self-employed.
Exactly. They work for themselves.
Like a person who sells fruit in the market.
Or an independent web designer. They are their own boss. And, our sources also note that earning money is not just for adults.
Right. Children and students can receive money.
Perhaps as pocket money or an allowance for doing small tasks at home. Or they might work part-time in a shop to earn a little extra.
And the material also highlights other important sources of money.
It does.
For instance, people may receive money as a gift on special days like a birthday.
Or also, some governments provide financial support or benefits to people who are unable to work.
Because they are maybe too old or too sick or have a disability.
Yes. And you can also generate money just by being resourceful, selling things you do not need anymore, like old clothes or furniture.
Or if a person has a house, they might rent out a room to someone else and receive that rental money. Passive income, they call it.
That is right. All of these are ways the sources show that people get money into their lives.
Okay, let us transition now. Let us talk about some of the most critical vocabulary we need to master to talk about financial health, starting with a very challenging economic concept. Recession.
Recession, yes. It is a period of time when the economy of a country slows down significantly. It is doing badly.
What does that mean exactly, doing badly?
It means the country as a whole is producing and making less money for a sustained period. It is not just one bad month.
I see. It is a longer trend.
Typically measured over 2 quarters or 6 months of decline. And the effects are very real for the average person.
What kind of effects are we talking about?
Well, the material gives clear examples. During a recession, many people can lose their jobs because companies might close down, They might go bankrupt.
Bankrupt meaning they have no money left to pay their debts and bills.
That is it. And when people lose jobs, they start spending less money, which only makes the recession worse. We also see the prices of company stocks fall dramatically.
That paints a very clear picture of a difficult time. Let us move to a concept that affects us more personally: debt and the state of being broke.
Debt is simply the amount of money that you owe to another person, a bank, or a company.
So if I buy a coffee for you and you do not pay me back right away,
You are in debt to me for the cost of that coffee. Exactly. It is a very relatable example.
and if that coffee was very expensive, say $250, I am now $250 in debt to you for a small Coke Zero. It shows how even small things can create debt if they are not paid immediately.
They can. And the most extreme result of losing money or carrying too much debt is being broke.
Broke.
To be broke simply means you have no money left at all. You cannot afford to buy anything.
Now let us talk about borrowing. When you borrow money from, say, a bank or a formal institution, you receive a loan.
Yes, a loan. That is spelled L-O-A-N.
And we must be careful not to confuse it with the word alone, which means by oneself.
A very important point. A loan is a temporary relationship where you are given money now and you promise to pay it back later.
Usually with extra money called interest.
Correct. And related to that is a mortgage.
A mortgage.
A mortgage is a specific, very large type of loan that helps you buy a house or property. Now, this word is sometimes difficult for English learners because of its pronunciation.
I can see why. How is it spelled?
It is spelled M-O-R-T-G-A-G-E, but it has a silent T. We pronounce it mortgage.
The silent letters in English always cause trouble. The key point about a mortgage is the time frame, is it not?
It absolutely is. Unlike a small loan for a car, a mortgage typically involves a commitment to pay back money over 20 or even 30 years.
It is one of the biggest financial decisions a person will ever make.
It is. It means the borrower is in a significant amount of long-term debt.
Moving on, we have the word tuition.
Tuition. Tuition is the money you must pay to a school, college, or university so that you can study there.
In many countries, this cost is a major source of debt for young people.
It is. It applies heavily to university, but in some systems, you must pay tuition even for children to attend public primary school.
And finally, before we look at spending, let us quickly master a very common English phrase that describes a negative impact. Hit me pretty hard.
A very useful phrase.
Yeah.
It means that something had a strong, often sudden, and negative effect on you, emotionally or physically.
So it is a way of showing intensity without using, very dramatic vocabulary.
Exactly.
The sources give us some good examples. My divorce hit me pretty hard. That means the emotional impact was serious and painful.
Right. Or you could say, this cold has hit me pretty hard.
Meaning the illness is severe and you feel terrible.
And even for something sad but less personal, like the news of Fluffy's death hit me pretty hard. It is a concise, natural way to express that you are suffering or affected by something bad.
Now let us look at the other side of the coin. How we use money every day. It is not enough just to earn it.
No, we must decide how to spend and save it.
So could you organize the basic uses of money for us as outlined in the sources?
Certainly. The money we earn is primarily used for our basic needs. This includes buying food, paying regular bills.
And bills are the monthly costs for things like electricity, water, gas.
Yes, to run our homes. And also for transportation, whether that means bus and train tickets or gasoline for a car.
And the other key uses, they move beyond just survival toward comfort and security.
That is correct. People use money for clothes and, very importantly, for health care.
Seeing a doctor, buying medicine, paying for insurance.
All of that. Money is also essential for communication, your phone service, and internet for education, and of course for entertainment, like going to the movies or paying for hobbies.
This brings us to a fundamental practical choice: the difference between spending and saving.
A crucial difference.
Spending is using money to buy things or services now. It is necessary, but the sources caution that people should think carefully before an impulse buy.
An impulse buy. That is, buying something quickly without really thinking or planning. It is the opposite of smart financial behavior.
So saving, then, is the practice of consciously deciding not to spend all your money now.
Right. You are keeping it for later.
Why is that so important?
Well, saving provides a safety net. It is kept for emergencies, unexpected events like a medical bill or a car repair.
Or for a big future goal, like buying a car or going on a trip.
Exactly. And the sources really emphasize that even saving a very small amount regularly is a good and valuable habit.
And the tool that helps us balance both of these is the budget.
Yes, the budget.
A budget is a very simple plan. It shows how much money a person is expecting to receive and how much they intend to spend and save.
And it is so helpful because it helps people clearly see where their money is going rather than just guessing.
And a smart technique for budgeting is to apply the needs versus wants distinction.
Oh, this is a great one. You ask yourself, is this purchase a need? Something essential for life, like food or shelter?
Or is it a want? Something that is nice to have, but not strictly necessary, like a fancy phone case or a new toy.
And buying fewer wants is the easiest way to start saving.
This careful balancing act is viewed very differently across the globe, especially when it comes to debt. Our material highlights a fascinating social contrast here.
It does, particularly concerning North America and Canada. In North America, debt is often considered necessary.
Necessary? That sounds counterintuitive.
It does to many people around the world. It is sometimes even encouraged from a young age.
Why would that be required? Why must a person be in debt to succeed?
Because you must demonstrate what is called a credit history.
A credit history.
It is a record of how responsibly you have borrowed money and paid it back over time. And banks need this history to trust you.
To trust you when you want to borrow money for the really big goals.
Right, like getting a car loan or that 30-year mortgage we discussed.
So if you do not have a credit history, the banks just will not lend you money for a home.
That is generally right. To establish this history, banks sometimes offer credit cards to 18-year-olds, sometimes even with small free gifts.
So that people start borrowing and building that credit history immediately.
Yes. The surprising insight here is that debt, which is usually considered a negative, is actually required to unlock wealth and major purchases in this system.
But the source material highlights a very sharp contrast to this system. For example, in parts of Europe, like Switzerland.
Yes, a very sharp contrast. In many European countries, debt is viewed much more carefully and often negatively. There is a strong social value placed on not owing money.
So what happens if you want a credit card there?
Well, the bank might demand something called collateral.
Collateral. That sounds like a technical word. Can you define that simply for our listener?
I can. Collateral, spelled C-O-L-L-A-T-E-R-A-L, is something valuable that you give to the bank to hold as a promise.
A promise.
For example, if you want a credit card with a limit of $1,000, the bank might ask you to deposit $1,000 of your own money into a savings account first. And they hold it.
So you have to give the bank your own money before they will let you borrow their money.
Exactly. If you fail to pay your credit card bill, the bank takes your $1,000 as payment. It shows a much higher level of caution is required. The view is completely opposite of the North American model.
That is a fundamental cultural difference. Let us now address the very real side of this. Common money problems. Why do they happen?
According to our material, problems arise for many reasons. Losing a job unexpectedly, earning a low salary compared to the rising cost of high prices.
Or large education costs that lead to debt.
Yes, or expensive medical problems if a person does not have health insurance.
And the emotional impact of that financial stress, that cannot be ignored.
No, it cannot.
Worrying about money can cause people to feel sad, tired, angry, or embarrassed. Money stress is definitely real. It affects both physical and mental well-being.
And so when money is tight, people usually focus on two things: earning more or reducing their spending drastically.
To earn more, they might seek a second job.
Or work longer hours at their primary job.
And to reduce spending, they might cook all their meals at home instead of eating out, or, walk instead of taking the bus.
They buy only what is absolutely necessary, and they also seek help in the community.
Right. Asking family or friends for temporary assistance, or visiting community centers and food banks.
Some people also apply for government aid, like welfare benefits or assistance for food or housing.
And a proactive approach is also highlighted in the material: self-improvement.
Yes. People often look for ways to improve their skills so they can earn a higher salary later. They might take free classes to learn something new.
Or they might start small side businesses, maybe selling homemade food or offering repair services, using their talents to earn a little extra cash.
Now, let us practice some essential phrases. This is our fluency builder section, and these will help you sound polite and natural in English conversations. The first phrase is, "What can I do for you?"
This is a very polite and professional way to ask, "Can I help you?" or "What do you need?" It is more formal and welcoming.
Right. If you are working in a shop or answering the phone at an office, this is the perfect phrase. It signals that you are immediately ready to assist.
It is much better than the very informal, what do you want?
It puts the focus on the service you were providing.
Okay, the second phrase is excellent when you need something or need to interrupt someone and you want to be extremely polite. I am really sorry to trouble you.
Or, can I trouble you for a moment?
Using the word trouble here shows humility. You are apologizing for causing a minor inconvenience.
Yes. The sources give clear scenarios. If you need to leave work early, you would ask your boss, I am sorry to trouble you, but may I go home early today due to an emergency?
Or for something smaller, can I trouble you for a pen? It just smooths the interaction and shows respect for the other person's time.
And our final phrase is incredibly useful for connecting ideas, especially when you're describing multiple difficulties or successes on top of all that.
This just means in addition to or and also. It signals that the situation, whether it is good or bad, is building up.
We often use it for compounding bad situations.
For example, my car got stolen, and on top of all that, my bicycle was also damaged. It really emphasizes a continuous stream of bad luck.
But you can use it positively too. Imagine a perfect day. It was my birthday, and all my friends came to visit me, and on top of all that, I received a million presents.
It connects multiple positive events together so effectively.
It does.
We have covered a significant amount of ground today. We went from basic definitions like salary and wages to complex concepts like recession and that crucial silent T in mortgage. And we also focused on the practical conversation phrases that make you sound fluent and polite. Learning these words really helps you live and communicate more confidently in the financial world.
I agree. Money skill is truly a life skill. It is so important to learn how to acquire money in honest and smart ways. And the key is achieving balance.
Balance.
A good financial life involves both careful spending right now and smart, consistent saving for the future.
Thank you so much for joining this deep dive. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like, share, and subscribe to the English Podcast channel. We appreciate your listening, and we will talk to you next time.